1. And we're on, baby. Pat tripped on a wire.
I did. I sure did.
It's confidently wrong, folks. And today, this week, we have the lovely, the fantastic Caleb Theodore Sherman on Confidently Wrong.
Thanks for coming.
Thanks for doing
I'm happy
this.
to be here just with dudes being guys with my bros.
Hanging out, kicking it,
Hell yeah.
chopping it up,
Hell yeah.
riffing.
Wait, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. The big reveal.
Do a little
Cut.
spitty spin?
We'll cut that. My reveal.
Okay. It's
We have
Caleb
someone here.
Theodore Sherman.
Ooh.
Nice.
Yo,
Sherman's march to the podcast.
look out, Georgia. I'm here to drop bombs.
That's right. Dropping some logic bombs of
Logical,
reason.
reasonable
Oh,
bombs.
A reasonable nuke.
Speaking of guy stuff, I wanted to get your thoughts on this little thing that happened to me on the way up here, and I felt like just the biggest pussy in the world coming up. So I'm driving.
I'm an authority on this. I can help.
Perfect.
We'll run this by you on
so
the pussy meter.
I'm driving. I stop in Irving to get a snack.
Mhm.
Okay. I want to get a little slice of pizza. I want a nice little shitty slice of pizza. Not a slice of pizza to be found. So I'm looking around. I'm like, well, I need something because I'm probably going to be late already, which ended up not mattering. But I go and I see they just have like cold sandwiches, and I'm looking at them and I'm like, I don't really want any of these. These suck. And it's like this specific Irving with like the self-checkout thing. And there's a guy in front of me and he turns around and he goes like, you know what you should do is go over to Shaw's. They got hot ready sandwiches over there. They're much better. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. Where it's like, I have to pretend I don't know what Shaw's is like across the street. And then I'm thinking about it. I'm like, I don't want to make another stop. That's going to put me like behind. And I was like, I'm just going to wait till he goes to leave and then grab one of their sandwiches. And in my head, I'm like, who cares? Like, it's not like he gives a shit. He said that and then just immediately forgot.
Right.
And then he finishes up and I'm like, okay, cool. As soon as he turns, I'm going to grab just a bad sandwich and I'll be out of here. And then before he leaves, he goes, yeah, so it's just across the street. It's Shaw's. They got sandwiches right in there. A lot of different options, like hot and cold. And I'm like, all right, man. And then I'm like, well, now I have to go over to Shaw's.
So you went to Shaw's?
So I drove over to Shaw's. Not a single hot sandwich. I just got an even worse cold sandwich from Shaw's.
Why'd you let this guy tell you where to get your shitty sandwiches?
I don't know.
You're a people pleaser.
You're a people pleaser.
It's the Midwest boy in me.
It's the nougat thing. Are you a people pleaser, would you say? Are you?
I don't think so.
Really?
I don't.
You wouldn't do that?
Not because I don't want to please people.
Mhm.
I'm happy to please people. It's just that my instinct is not that like I know how to please people or that
Okay.
by doing what they want
Yeah.
that will please them.
Right.
I feel
That
like
makes sense.
yeah.
So not only are
it
you
almost
a pussy, you're pretentious.
I mean, I knew what I was doing. I'm like, this
No.
is psycho.
No, it's not psycho. It's like you're kind of taking the L to save face for him rather than just being like, I'm just trying to shove a shitty sandwich down my throat
Yeah.
right now, but I appreciate you.
I don't need
You're
your
like,
fucking help,
I
man.
want this
Yeah.
guy to shine right now. I want him to feel like during his day,
Yeah,
he
right.
gave me sound advice on where to get a
Well,
shitty
you got to
sandwich.
say 7 words to every clerk you interact with. You
Oh,
know?
no.
you
Yeah,
have
that's
to say at
true.
least
That's
7
a
things.
total information risk to put out on your this
Yeah.
is a thing I heard on the internet once.
I think about it a lot.
And
Actually.
Yeah.
it might be true, but apparently if you say 7 words or more to the people that collect your tolls on the highway, their suicide risk goes down.
Oh.
So
Was
so
it high?
Oh yeah, apparently they're killing themselves left and
they
right.
kill themselves a lot.
It's like
'Cause
accountants and toll booth
like
operators.
the anonymity
Accounts, I
of
get.
it, just like an endless stream of people
Right.
being like, "Hey, fuck you, toll person. Hey, here's my shit."
Right.
Zoom off. No
Yeah,
humanity.
I went through a toll booth once and I handed the lady like a folded up dollar bill and she got so fucking angry and just like angrily went like
Damn.
just, like, unfolding
Just
it.
losing her shit.
I told her, I'm like, kill yourself, lady, and I drove off. No, I'm kidding. I did say that.
I mean, honestly, she probably has the lowest risk of suicide. It's probably the ones that are like a little bit defeated that would do it.
That's
you
someone
know?
with life still in them.
Like if you get a toll booth guy where like you toss a handful of change at them and they're like, okay, I deserve that. Then you gotta check on them.
Right.
Yeah.
Just they have a sign on them that says "spit on me" as you drive through.
Whoa. Yeah, they could get some people with a serious like humiliation fetish in there and then like encourage people to abuse them verbally.
Well, my thought is now that they have Easy Pass, isn't
Yeah.
that just like the easiest job in the world now? What do you?
Well, I'm
it's
sure
like,
that's
what
why
do
they
you
want to
do?
kill themselves.
And I mean, yeah, you're doing a literal robot job that could be replaced by a basket that you put this, you know what I mean?
Right.
Like, it's like, I would imagine that
I
that's
wouldn't
not
mind
fun.
being replaced.
But now, every time I go through, ever since I heard that, anytime I go through a toll, I'm like, hey, hope your day's going well. Thank you so much for your service you're providing to our community right now. Appreciate you. Have a good night.
Yeah. I think it's funny to imagine someone like trying to check up on someone, but also in a rush. So just like driving by and being like, hey, I'd never kill myself. How about you? Huh? All right, take it easy.
Keep player. Keep on collecting that cash.
Maybe I am a people pleaser, right? I'm like, I have to please these destitute.
Maybe? I mean, you are
toll
from
people.
you're from Pennsylvania, right? Is that the
I grew up
Midwest?
there.
Or?
I went to up into the 5th grade. I lived in New York, in Goshen, New York. And then I did middle and high school, which is where most of your growing up happens, right? In the mountains
like
of Pennsylvania.
Is upstate?
No, it's it's northeast corner of Pennsylvania, southeast corner of New York.
Okay.
That area. Yeah.
Beautiful
That's
country.
where I grew up. It's nice. I like it. I'm gonna drive the 6 hours down there in a couple weeks. Just hang out at some waterfalls.
Nice.
Should be fun.
Sounds nice.
It's
What's
a
your
beautiful
favorite part
area.
about where you grew up? What's your favorite aspect
part? I mean, the waterfalls are pretty fucking great. It's like very beautiful. Delaware River. Can do a river float. Drink some Yinglings on the Delaware.
Drinking culture there? Do they drink a lot? Or
They drink
I mean, as much as anywhere. Yeah, it's very rural.
Yeah.
So that too. I mean, it was a cool place to grow up because it's like you're just driving all around to all the weed spots with your friends, smoking weed, going on little hikes, smoking weed by waterfall.
That does sound
I feel like
nice.
Go
smoking
smoke
weed
weed
is
under a
more
bridge.
ubiquitous than booze, to be honest. I feel like the booze culture in Wisconsin, that was like a very specific thing. But like weeds everywhere.
Yeah,
but
but
we
even
went
in
on spring
Pennsylvania.
break in Miami, and like we were just like hanging out in the Airbnb, and like our friends in Miami, they were like just so confused at the fact that we would just sit and just like play drinking games and like talk.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, you're not going to go to the club. You're not going to like hang out somewhere else. Like, no, like, we're just going to sit in this living room and get hammered.
I mean, Maine's got a pretty bad drinking culture too, though. I feel like
Interesting that you say bad, but all right.
I mean, the fact that I could stop at any gas station and get hard alcohol and then in my car is pretty crazy. And there's no, like in Oregon, if you buy beer, there's no extra tax. Like there's no sales tax in Oregon, but they have a tax for hard liquor, and it's called the sin tax. Well, you have to pay to be a sinner.
They're like, wild. You reminded me in Pennsylvania, there's beer stores, and then there's wine and liquor stores, and gas stations can't have either one. So it's like, they do try to control it, and you're like not allowed to have your beer store can't be open on Sunday and shit in a lot of areas. So it's like, I forgot that that's a main thing where you go to the combis, you get a nip.
There's got to be some sort of control on it. You know, like I could walk in and get a pint of vodka in a tornado. That's not, there's repercussions.
It's a vacation culture here though. It's like,
you
got to be able to go down to the 24-hour gas station and
but to put into
until 1 a.m.
The nips in Maine, they're like this big. You get nips in Wisconsin, they're nipples, dude. They're fucking like this, like they're triple the size.
I've heard
like,
this. I've never been to Wisconsin, but it's a drinking culture. I've heard that they drink.
Yeah, it's massive. If you look at any list of like most alcoholic counties, Wisconsin has all of them.
Part of me wonders if it's the same thing, like how in Florida they have all those crazy news stories, but it's not that just happens in Florida. It's that Florida's the only one that reports it. I wonder if it's just Wisconsin's like, yeah, we drink all the time, and then other states are like, we do drink all the time, but we're sneakier about it.
People drink everywhere,
right?
But if it's like a part of the state identity, maybe Wisconsin's just like owning it. They're
like the Tavern
like
League.
To drink.
It's like the Tavern League is a very, very powerful political interest group in Wisconsin.
Yeah, that's
true. We were the last state to hold like we didn't want to change the drinking age, and like basically the feds were like, we're gonna cut all like DOT funding if you don't lower or increase the drinking age.
Yeah,
like
it's crazy,
and it's pretty common to see. I think I know what you're talking about, the sunshine laws in Florida. I think the distinction in Wisconsin is you can get like 6 DUIs before your license is suspended. Like I think that's what.
Yeah, that is a good.
They're lax about it.
They're very
very chill.
Not the last time I went to Wisconsin. A while ago, I went to Wisconsin, and my friend's now husband, but boyfriend. a guy that I know picks me up in his truck, and we're driving around, and like there's not one or two, there are maybe 30 beer cans just on the floor, like around his truck. And it wasn't like he had a rough night. This was just, you know, like whatever. Right. And then we passed a cop, and he was like, "Oh, hope we don't get pulled over." I was kind of
like, yeah,
hey, like I'm not even driving.
Like, there's nothing you can do about this situation.
Yeah,
like,
what could we possibly do?
Just let go. If you find 30 beer cans in my car, like check on me.
Yeah,
I'm not doing
That's not okay.
When
doing good.
right when I turned 18, I went camping with some friends, and we got caught by not cops, but like Department of Natural Resource officers, and so they got us for like drinking and like weed paraphernalia, because weed's still illegal in Wisconsin. Criminals
to this day.
Yeah, to this day. I think it's like decriminalized in most cities, but it is still illegal.
Yeah, same in PA.
But they
Bastards.
were not mad about the beer at all. Like there's beer cans everywhere. They were like, "You guys are having an illegal fire out here." Like that. The beer didn't even really come up all that much.
I mean, that's rational. You could start a fire. That's not. I mean,
crazy
I
kids
like
with your
that.
fire.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, I like that. That's good.
I like.
It's a good
I like
thing.
when they enforce laws.
Yeah, I never thought I'd say
Fire.
that, but
I mean, they kind of pick and choose. Like when they got out there, they're like, "You guys are looking at like $1,000 in fines each." And then by the time we got back to the car, it was like, "You guys
just get home safe."
Yeah.
Have you had any close calls with the law?
You did remind me about one time that a fire got me in trouble. Where
Ooh.
it was very funny because we were. It was in. So this is the cool thing about PA. I gotta start here. A lot of the like developed land that people live on, it's in gated communities, but not in a bougie way. Not like bougie condo gated
Keep out the
communities.
wolves.
It's just like the areas that were developed. A lot of them used to be like places that you would go summer, and they have like clubhouses and little man-made lakes.
Mhm.
This sounds bougie. It's really not. It's like every house has its own acre. It's very spread out, but they're gated. So there's like 2 points of entry maybe. And the cops are not allowed. There's no police in your community. The police are like not allowed unless they're called to like an active thing.
Oh.
Is this a new
They
thing,
don't
or-
patrol in there. I don't think it's that new.
Yeah.
There's just no patrolling police in this huge gated community. So we had free reign as kids to drive our cars around, smoke weed, except for the one private security guard guy, that George, who was like a 60-year-old narc buzzkill that would drive around and try to catch the kids doing stuff they shouldn't be doing.
Yeah.
And like tell their parents.
Yeah.
So
sounds like a George
all you can
Zimmerman
do.
type. Like,
yes.
I guess.
Like
this is some fucking douchebag.
I don't know if they carried guns. I think they maybe did carry guns, but we one time were having a fire at my house. My parents were away, and I had just a massive collection of porn mags that I had stolen from my cousin. Perfect crime, stealing contraband. Such a sweet feeling.
I dare you. I dare
No
you
one's
to
going to
say
say anything. Where are all my porn mags? So I think as like an act of contrition to my then girlfriend, I was like, I don't need these porn mags. We're going to burn these porn mags at this party we're having where we're
There's probably some little kid just so furious.
yeah, I know it's a horrible crime.
It's like
Those are
burning
probably
money.
collectible now. They probably
like
are.
the Joker burning that pile of cash.
Some people just want to see the world burn.
Some men just want to watch. Some men just want to watch all the hustlers burn.
It was I don't know. This is my high school sweetheart, so I was like, I'm not gonna watch porn. I don't need porn. In her mind, porn was cheating. That's insane.
Not
I would
people
never
do,
stand
though.
for this these days. If I had hard copies of porn of any kind, I would never let them go
Yeah,
for
obviously.
some woman.
some bitch.
But anyway, we were burning all these, and burned them, big pile of them, and there was like little pieces of porn fluttering in the wind. But we all got fucked up. Probably, I don't really remember. And then in the morning,
That's a sign.
the next day, my dad, maybe my parents were home, and we were just having a party. But in the middle of the night, we had not put the fire out.
Oh,
So George did his little lap up Fern Lane and fucking saw the fire and went to investigate.
Found scraps of porn.
Just scraps of porn everywhere, burnt around a fire. I remember it being a really weird conversation with my dad because he was like, this is just weird. Like, I'm not even mad.
Can't even hazard a guess as to what you were doing.
You were in possession of the porn,
it was
but you
good.
burned the porn. So it's like
there was a lot of it too.
I don't know whether to hit you or to take you to get ice cream. To say you're a good kid.
It was so bizarre. That was just a fun story because fuck George, the security guard.
Was his name George?
His name is George.
George Zimmerman, dude.
Sure.
Could have been George Zimmerman.
It's crazy that guy's still alive.
Is he?
It's
I don't
shocking
know.
that no one's killed him.
Yeah.
Oh, that nobody
He sued the family for like hundreds of millions of dollars just because he got harassed. Anyways, what were you gonna say, Pat?
I was gonna say I have a visceral hatred of any time I see like private security guards.
Oh, dude,
I don't. Like when I see cops, I'm like,
mm-hmm.
when I see cops, I'm like, I don't really like cops. Like I'm not like, oh, like, you know,
sure.
It's not my cause to get all righteously mad about or whatever. But when I see a guy who couldn't even be a cop and just wants authority, I just get so fucking mad.
Yeah.
From my
why would you?
Core.
Yeah, there was
really
there was one time before Free Street shut down. I was with some comics, and one of them had like a joint. So we were just like passing around a joint, and one of those private security guards comes up and he's like, "Oh, hey guys," and we're like, "Hey," and he's like, "Don't worry, I'm not a cop," and we're like, "Yeah, well, okay."
I know.
Then he's like, "Yeah, I was just curious. Like, I was just, I saw you guys smoking that joint. I was curious if it's like indica or sativa," and we're like, I don't know, but it's just, it made me so mad where he's like, "Don't worry, I'm not a cop." It's like, first of all, not breaking the law.
Right.
Second of all, what are you going to do?
No, because he wants you to be worried that he's a cop.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like, hey kids, I'm just one of the cool security guards.
It's like a whole thing where you're getting an ego trip off of like pretending to be just a job you can't
Why
get.
do you sign up for that, right? You do have to question the motivation.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Yeah,
like,
absolutely.
what is, and it's also like a cop, I could imagine, and extend some sort of grace to, like I do, people who sign up for any military branch.
Mhm.
I'm like, okay, in your mind, you're like making sacrifices for some kind of greater good. I understand that.
Yeah.
Cop, all right, first responder, I can put some respect on that. My dad was a firefighter. I get it.
Yeah.
That's on some level, I can extend you that grace.
Mhm.
But with the security guard, it's like you're really willing to put your body between private property,
Right.
Exactly.
and the criminals out there in the
Right.
world. Like,
Yeah.
what kind of
And,
fucking?
and if you approach that job like, "Hey, I'm just cashing a check," that's fine.
Yeah.
It's the like acting like you're
Sure.
doing something.
Yeah.
I'll
But
see those cars patrolling around, and I really have the impulse to like, "Who do you work for? Who the fuck do you work for?" Like,
yeah, who is it in
following them.
Portland? There's FPS.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You see a lot of those.
And that's the thing. Like, there is
Fuck
a
off.
distinction between like just someone who works at an apartment building behind a desk with a
Right.
white shirt. I have no problem with those people. It's the people who have like a Punisher sticker on like their airsoft gun or like their Nerf gun in their
Right.
car because they can't have a
That
real
is
one.
who it is.
Yeah.
Also, meter maids. I hate
that
I
much of a
Yeah.
problem with me.
That's a
them. I hate
regressive
them.
tax.
There
I
was
just couldn't ever. I can't imagine rationalizing that. It's like I'm going to be a financial burden on disproportionately people who can't afford the fines
Also,
that I'm
like-
handing out to fund the city that's going to spend it, sure, on some like common goods, but also probably on like refurbishing some fucking massive building that government shit happens in.
Yeah.
It's like, go fuck.
Also, like,
Yourself.
You're gonna give me a ticket, fine. I didn't pay it, fine. But like, fucking charge me like what it was, $2. Pay me $2. Like,
It should
fine.
be a percentage of your income, which means that if you're a millionaire, it should be like $10,000, and if you are like on the poverty line, it's like $5. It's
I
like,
don't even think that. I
it's a
just
good
think
system.
like what it costs. Like just pay the fine. We're gonna like
oh, like the cost of the
of
parking spot.
that you didn't
Yeah,
pay.
yeah.
You
Yeah,
know,
it's like if you're-
$50
Sure.
or something.
Yeah,
Even
that's
that.
fair.
Like
Even that, I
but
would
like,
be down.
I was driving through New Hampshire once, and I thought that they didn't ticket on Sundays because in Portland, God's country, they don't ticket on Sundays.
The way life should
But
be.
I went and
That's
I
right.
got a cannoli, and then as I'm getting my cannoli, I parked for maybe 3 minutes. Get my cannoli, I pop back in my car, ticket. get a fucking $25 ticket. And I see the meter maid like a block away, and I like get in my car and I pull up to him. I'm like, hey, fucking meter maid, I'm not gonna fucking pay it. And then I just rip it up.
Nice.
And I almost littered. I'm like, I'm not gonna litter. I'm gonna tear it up and throw it in my car.
Wow.
And I drove away. And I was like,
it would have been funny.
and
If
I was
it
with my
was just
girlfriend at the time, and I was like, I understand that this is petty and psychotic. I had to do this, and I do feel better. So
I'm not going to
I'm
judge.
not gonna fucking pay it.
See, I kind of look at it like a gamble. If it's like I'm going to park somewhere and I'm like, I can either pay them $10 or I roll the dice and hope they don't charge me $40. Which, like, yeah, I don't like the system, but I kind of see it as like you win some, you lose some.
In Portland, they don't tow your car in Portland until like the third strike or the fourth strike,
which I like.
I think it's like
so
5,
I just always am like, nah.
Yeah.
And then I check every once in a while. I'm like, all right, I gotta pay one of them now.
Right. I don't even think they tow. I think they'll boot you before they tow you.
Yeah,
I had my car towed.
Really?
Yeah, it depends. I think it's
Did you have to
like,
go to Yaz towing?
I went to the one on Commercial Street, I think. No, it was in South fucking Portland, I think.
Was it Yaz?
Maybe
Yaz.
Psycho.
I heard that guy's a fucking psycho.
Yeah.
Yaz towing, if you're listening to this.
Or as long as
you were
we're
rude to my ex.
as long as we're attacking the fucking bureaucrats.
Yeah, let's get them.
The tow person, I mean, right? Or like these repossession agents. That's another one. Or like bounty hunters.
Oh,
there's like, all right, you're lubricating the gears of a social violence with your own sweat and blood and tears, and that's gross to me. But it depends. Again, it's the Punisher sticker. That's the one. It's like, are you Dog the Bounty Hunter, whose like whole identity is wrapped up in this like bounty, or are you? I just repossess people's cars.
Yeah, I kind
because it's
I feel the same way because like with the bounty hunters, like this is kind of egregious, but I feel like with I don't know, for me, like meter maids or like people like that, it's kind of like, yeah, you have to do this like shitty thing, but it's like not really your call. Like it's kind of like when people are like, oh, I hate the army. And it's like, I agree with you. I don't like what the army does. But also you got to remember, if you meet someone from the army, they're probably just a 19-year-old who like wanted a way to pay for college. Like at some point you also just have to get a job, you know,
that's fine.
Or, and it's like to like get mad at that person, that 19-year-old is to like kind of be like, I don't know, bullying almost in an intellectual way. It's like, you don't know the harms of the American empire.
Right.
You know, like, yeah, maybe they are just literally ignorant.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, it'd be
this
like
whole,
if you got drafted into Vietnam and then you're there for a year and you go back and everyone's calling you a baby killer. It's like, I didn't say, you know, it would be really fun
I just
to go over to Vietnam. Yeah. I tried to get to Canada. I couldn't do it. I got booted.
I have several family members that were like, they didn't dodge the draft. They were like, no, I'm not going. And they did the time and then moved to Canada.
I would just do the religious deferment. I would just say I'm Jehovah's Witness or something.
Oh, they did a whole, there's like what movie is this in? Maybe it's like Born on the 4th of July. There's like this whole ceremony where you had to like step over a line to acknowledge that you were like accepting that you were drafted. And then if you didn't, they would like arrest you. Have you seen this?
No,
I've actually never seen Born on the 4th of July.
It's a good movie. It's good pictures of that going down. It's pretty fun. But it's like I mean, there's a whole ethical like thing about, if you got drafted, do you just go to jail or do you be like, well, they said I had to do murders.
Yeah.
So,
but also I know in Vietnam, it was like right at the end, just like cases of soldiers just killing their officers secretly, just like skyrocketing.
And that's
like,
we should bully our officers.
Yeah.
Because I tried doing the officer training program and I dropped out after like a very short amount of time. Because like,
do you go to a military academy?
Sorry,
you went to a military academy?
It was like a program at I went to UW Madison,
like ROTC.
So like, yeah, so it was like a training program there. And like they're literally saying like, I want to go kill Muslims. Like that's what they're saying.
That's who they're looking for.
It's also wild to, because this was Navy ROTC.
Yeah.
I thought you like play with boats.
Too,
oh yeah,
yeah. It's just like, there's no like obfuscation or like naivete. It's like, no, like you are a monster. I don't know what else to call it. Like, and hopefully it's one of those things where you go over there and then you realize what you've committed to, and then you freak out and I don't know. but it's like, yeah, I mean, people come back fucked up for a reason, man. It's against, human nature, what they're doing.
So many war docs. This has been a weird transition as I get older in life, where I remember watching war movies, war documentaries, and being like, whoa, like soldiers, and this is why they get fucked up. And now I watch the same ones and I'm like, this is a fucking child.
Right.
Yeah.
Who has no idea what to expect over there.
Yeah.
How could they?
They're like, I'm just gonna get shoes. I'm gonna go on a trip.
When I was younger, I was very much like, oh, like war movies, like hell yeah, like thought that was cool. And then now when I see them, like I can still enjoy it as a good movie, but I'm more and more just thinking, yeah, this is horrible that they sent you over to do this for usually nothing, for just really nothing.
That's a big nothing, dude.
Yeah.
World War I, World War II, even.
Why? This is just kind of sad facts that I learned, but I learned that
sad facts on the CW. Sad facts.
We go over and we do Vietnam. We kind of get our asses handed to us, and then we're done. And then about like the Cambodian genocide.
Oh yeah.
So we knew that it was happening, and we let it go on because Cambodia like didn't like Vietnam, and so we're just like, hey, if they're gonna be dicks to Vietnam, let's let them do that. Right. And there's like quotes of them being like, yeah, it's kind of a weird government, but we'll let them do their thing.
They're kind of quirky.
They're a little bit, they're nutty.
Wasn't that like what was it? The Khmer Rouge? Was that what it was?
Yeah, so they took over the country, and then their plan was like, we're just gonna start over on year zero. We're gonna just they had all these cities, and they're like, everyone get out of the cities, and just like broke up all the families, broke up like their entire society. And we're like, we're just going to start all over. Everyone's a farmer now. And then we kill anyone with like an education or like any skills and everything. And then they did that. And they're like, turns out if you need to run a country,
kept a couple of them around.
Yeah, Jesus Christ.
I thought that there was active CIA involvement in Cambodia and Laos.
Yeah.
It was hands off, but we also were like a little accelerationist about it too.
Yeah, we bombed them a lot, and we do like secret little invasions and stuff like that. Which, that's the thing. Like, if you hate the military, you really hate more like the special forces guys. Like those are. If you're in the army now, you're pretty much like a janitor overseas.
Right. They're just bros hanging out.
They're just bros hanging out.
We're just dudes in the desert. I got sand in my fries. That's right. Fuck.
The Department of Defense is the largest organization on Earth.
That's crazy.
They also haven't had a successful audit in like 60 years.
Like, yeah.
They've never once had. Since they started auditing, they have not had a successful one.
Damn. Speaking of news, the Pope died.
Rip.
Sick.
Rest in pissed.
Yeah.
How'd he die?
Old.
He died of old.
They put a stamp on it that says old.
Easter Monday.
They're like, the Vatican will they'll reveal the cause of death. It's like, he died. Like, that's what you're supposed to do. Like,
I mean, well, they also just keep picking, really, really old people. Would you
buy a car or something? Like,
but it's weird because my girlfriend was like raised Catholic and I went to Catholic school, but isn't very religious. And then she texted me this morning being like, "Oh, the Pope died," and I thought it was just gonna be like a quick novelty, like, oh, but it was. She just knew a lot about. She knew about the contenders who might replay. Like she knew. Oh, wow. She's up on Pope news, and I had no idea.
Like, she knows about the people who could be up next
or at least alluded
like
to it.
Fan fiction, like Succession or something.
Yeah, well, I just said like, oh, they got to pick a new old guy, and she's like, yeah, like there's a few contenders, but like, they're probably going to be as liberal. And I was like, okay.
This is what he was. Not, I mean, liberal for a pope.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like, he was still so aggressively transphobic. There's a ton of videos of him doing little speeches where it's like good pope energy, haha, being so funny.
It's
and
giving good pope.
And he'll just be like, this gender ideology though, there's only men and women. He's like, it was this whole thing. It's fuck him, I don't care. And I hope that they pick another old person that dies. Maybe they're doing it intentionally so that because they realize like a lifetime appointment is kind of crazy.
Yeah, it is pretty wild. I want the new one to just kind of like, I want one to change up the dress a little bit. I want one to be like the Pope wears a suit now. Like, you ever see that Robin Hood movie with who's the kid from Kingsman? You know what I'm talking about?
Oh no, I didn't see it, but I know what you're talking about.
It was all right, but it was just funny because the villain, it's medieval times, but the villain is wearing like a modern looking suit. I want a Pope like that. where it's like they do medieval shit, but they're in like a 3-piece tailored
We should
suit.
put the vote
eye
for the
patch
Pope.
and a scar.
That'd be cool.
Yeah.
Do you want to vote
We should
for the
vote
Pope?
for the Pope. Yeah.
I'd
be
cast a vote.
Skrillex.
Worldwide?
Big Skrillex the Pope.
The Pope.
They should, put it live stream it on Netflix like Kill Tony and call it the search for the next Pope.
Yeah, they get a minute to do a search.
Yeah.
And the most retarded one wins.
Yeah.
1 minute Pope sets.
What's your take on Kill Tony? Do you think it's good for comedy?
It's putting a bunch of comedy in people's faces. So
Yeah.
there's some aspect of that that's
Right.
got to be rising tide, all boats situation.
That's true.
Yeah.
I don't love I don't, and the kingmakerness of it doesn't bother me that they're just handing it out to some, it could be because there's an undeniability
Mm-hmm.
in it. And you've even had golden ticket winners who on their return, like, don't really make a lot of waves because
Right.
it's like, well, they had one good time. They
It's kind of
Tony
sink or swim
Hinchcliffe was
still.
just feeling especially
Yeah.
grateful for
like,
their presence on
Made a
one
PR
day.
move and was,
Yeah.
it's like, it just seems to be who can get like the most excitement building. But
But then you have like Cam Patterson's, and he's
Oh,
fucking
Yeah.
awesome.
Cam Patterson's
But
hilarious.
You know?
I have noticed that like there's a few people where they become like the stars, and it's like now it's just sort of been like, oh yeah, like Kill Tony made them, and like it definitely elevated their careers. But I know like Casey Rocket was like,
Sorry, there's just a person singing
know, yeah.
outside the window.
but I know like Casey Rocket was like one of the biggest comics in Austin before Kill Tony. So it's like it seems like there's
Yeah.
a few people where they would have been fine either way, and it's helped them. But my issue with it is it's kind of like eroded any middle ground where it's like you do, and I've watched a lot of it when I was over in Oregon. It's like every person is either horrible or amazing, and there's not really a whole lot of like, oh, that was good. Like it's because it's such a spectacle and like mean spirited, you kind of have to just be like, oh, what's a mean, shitty thing I can say to you instead of just like, oh, that was pretty good. Like, how far into it are you? Like, that's solid. Like, there's very few of
Yeah.
those.
Right.
But that's sort of also comedy.
Yeah.
Like either you're doing the thing and it's amazing that it doesn't have to be amazing stand up,
Mhm.
but if you're like having a good set, that's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
Period.
Mhm.
You know,
Right.
do you know what I'm
No,
trying to
I
say?
get
I'm
you.
not
Yeah.
articulating it
Yeah.
well, but like
Yeah.
there kind of is no middle ground. Either you're
Yeah.
having a good set or it's kind of bad. Like
Yeah.
the middle ground is kind of bad. Like to have a mediocre set
Mhm.
kind of
Right.
sucks.
Right.
Yeah. Because I mean, if you're like an open mic, like comics can appreciate where it's like, that was okay. Like
Sure.
you can work on that, but a crowd, it's either good or
So
it's bad.
I think I agree with
Mhm.
you that it's like they don't have room for that on Kill Tony. Like
Mhm.
I see people who I'm like, clearly they're great, but it's more interesting, the funnier route to take from the panel's perspective is like, well, let's lambast this person who kind of did
Exactly.
mid in the room.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Like, let's just roast them.
Right.
But I guess,
And I've never liked roast culture in a scene.
Mhm.
When I started in Portland, Maine, Ian Stewart, big producer of a lot of things, it's
Yeah.
just anything that he was on, there was that roast energy in the background,
right.
and that does not need to be all of comedy and all
Right,
comedy
yeah.
environments,
Right.
right? Like
No,
where
I
we're
agree.
all
Well, and
just
it
like
trickled
giving
down,
each other
too.
shit.
Right. Like
Being
other
mean.
comics would like not write sets. They would just riff on
Yeah.
your set.
Right.
Which is
for
not a
3
thing
minutes.
in other scenes.
Right.
At least that I've been to. There isn't
Yeah.
like a culture of half of your set at an open mic should be commenting on like the sets before. Like
Right.
if you can
No.
use that to bring up a bit that you're working on or like string that into a joke, go for it. But it
Sure.
shouldn't just be like another problem with this set that I had and this joke that you said. Like who cares?
Yeah.
This is your time. You're supposed to be
There's
working
like
on your
a-
set.
There's like a generally antagonistic sort of angry and bitter thing in Kill Tony, especially
Mhm.
from Tony Hinchcliffe.
Yeah.
But
I really just don't like him. I think.
yeah,
I just
I'm
hate
not.
his
This is like
vibe.
he's very funny. He's got some
Yeah.
great jokes. I don't know.
It's just so funny, like all the Puerto Rico stuff too, where it's like,
That
it's
was
like, oh, it's
tame as
just
fuck.
comedy. It's just comedy. It's like, yeah, but you're literally at a political rally.
Sure.
Like,
Yeah,
you
exactly.
can't really hide
Yeah.
behind
I also just
comedy
thought
anymore.
that's like the tamest Tony Hinchcliffe joke.
right. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
really not
They
even
probably
that.
started digging up his like released material and were like, oh, we're gonna get nowhere
right.
from this. Which
That's
I
kinda what they
also
like about it.
tinfoil hat time. I think it would totally makes sense to have been a coordinated thing where they were like, the fucking woke mob is so predictable that we're going to have Tony on this rally. He's going to make one off-color joke. They're going to leap on it, and then it will immediately turn off the whole kill Tony leftist not leftist, centrist, like Joe Roganite, woo-woo, steroid using, UFC, alien believing crowd, and they'll be like, oh, these fucking liberals, I don't like Kamala, they couldn't take a joke. Maybe it didn't need to be coordinated. It just worked out in such a goddamn predictable way that I was like, I was just upset. I was like, no, you fucks. That's a fucking, it's not a great joke, but it's such a tame nothing joke that Puerto Ricans can take. It's a trash island. Like it's not.
But it's also like, please, can you offer a little bit more infrastructure funding, maybe? You know, like it's like kind of like a,
you know, what did Trump do when he went there after the bad storm? He was just like
tossing toilet paper, like shooting hoops.
He's just having a great time.
It's just so cartoony.
Toilet paper fuckers. That is more offensive than that joke.
That's horrible. It's really like, funny, but oh my god, Jesus Christ!
Kill Tony. I get why people don't like it, but it's got its moments.
I think just the only other thing that does annoy me about it is like, you know, like you were saying about him, where it's like he'll do this thing where it's like we're building like the best comedy show, like we're like taking credit for like building up the best comics in the world, where it's like, and then they do the same thing that like those like, you ever see the influencers, like the men influencers, where it's just like, oh, like, you know, don't drink tap water and just all this just weird advice, where it's like they do this thing where it's like, I am successful in some way, so if you say anything bad about what I'm doing, it's just because you're not successful. And it's like, I'm not successful, so I can't, but I can still see how you're doing something stupid. Right.
Yes. It's hard not to look like a sore loser.
Exactly.
When you have valid critique.
Exactly. And then, I mean, with a similar thing, it's like you've made a thing in Kill Tony where like hundreds of people in the crowd are bitter people who didn't get pulled that night. So they're all geared to hate you anyway.
Right.
No. Have you ever tried to get on?
No.
Oh.
I mean, if I was in Austin, I would, obviously. But
one of the things I like about Kill Tony is their emphasis on minutes.
Yeah.
That's cool. Back in the day, when Bullfini's existed and they did comedy on the second floor of it, the guy that ran that had a minute, like after their showcase, it'd be like, anyone who wants in the audience can sign up and win $1 if you have the best minute. And it was very helpful in my early writing to think about minutes. And it was fun.
So wait, when you started, like what did the scene kind of like look like? Like what do you think you noticed? Cool. It's like where would you go? Like how many mics were there?
There were so many. Well, when I very first started, there might have been other mics, but a lot of noobs do this. I went to Brian Baru, which is a building with the toucan on the side of it that's no longer a thing.
Yeah.
But they had a mic. Nick Robes hosted with a guy who went to Chicago and got good.
Really?
Baltic.
Oh yeah, he is good.
So Baltic and him would host on and off. And very shortly after I started, he went to Chicago. But Nick Robes, so funny. I miss him in the scene. He was more of an improv guy, I think. But he was so fucking funny. Great host. And that was a great open mic. But then there was a Be Good open mic. There was briefly a Gritty's open mic. There was a Andy's on Commercial Street, had an open mic in their back room. Someone should try to get another mic back there.
Yeah.
Where else? There was another one. Now I can't think of. Well, and then Empire, right? Empire Mondays after music. So there were quite a few. You could bounce around to.
That sounds nice.
But it's like how it is now. There were different days of the week. And I think it was Monday where there were like 3 briefly that you could do all 3. So cool. That was like the Wednesday. The scene though was the Co-op and Ian Stewart, period. That was it.
Less factions.
Yes. Oh, and Mike Levitsky doing Bullfini's. Didn't have an open mic, but there was like a showcase like every other week there. But he wasn't a faction. He was just like that one small room. But he had some cool people to come through. But if it wasn't Ian Stewart producing shit all over the goddamn state, burning bridges for us to struggle to produce anything at breweries for the next decade. Then it was the Comedy Co-op, and they had Blue. Blue didn't have a comedy open mic, but they had pretty regular shows with the Comedy Co-op folks. They probably had other rooms. Jack Slattery, shout out, he's in Seattle now. He had the Aphodian briefly, and when I was like 2 years into comedy, he gave me 10 minutes every month.
Whoa.
As like the House Aphodian comic.
Oh, cool.
That's cool.
I got to do, that was when I got to do like 10 minutes for the first time, like consistently. And I would do crazy things because the Aphodian just felt like I could do crazier things at the Aphodian. Do you know that space?
Yeah.
They do a lot of like experimental music. It's a very co-op-y vibe, local bands. So yeah. This is that Logorrhea I was talking about. I'm just like, let me talk about the halcyon days of.
That was a new word. I was like, I had to Google that.
Oh, yeah.
Logorrhea. Did you know that word?
No.
That's a good word. Diarrhea of the mouth.
I like it.
Like just speaking incessantly.
It's just interesting how you can be in like a pretty small city relatively, in like a even smaller community in there, and there's just so much lore. Like I remember like a year and a half ago there was like a newer comic, and we were giving him a ride to a mic, and he was just asking like, what is the scene like here? And it felt like I was explaining the lore of like Oblivion or like Skyrim. He's like, well, there's this faction.
There are 5 nations.
Yeah. They're warring with each other, but there's peace and love as well.
There's one trickster who hides in the shadows, constantly stirring the pot.
Yeah. Backstabbing and double
over
agents.
Nothing. Over like $200.
Well, it's funny too, because my girlfriend she'll come to shows every once in a while. Like it's the same thing where like if my like dad wanted to come, I'd be like, if you bring it up and I think it's going to be a good show, you're more than welcome to come. So it's like very like tertiary exposure to the scene. So she just hears what I tell her, and she's like, every time it's come up with her friend, she's like, it's insane. Like these people are crazy. There's people where you wouldn't expect it, and they have just the most insane lives.
It's true. And it's all of our egos are bound up into it, and we're all sensitive artists, and we're all trying really hard to be good. And
everyone's trying their best.
Clashing personalities. And there are some things that like there is like a greater good for the scene to like, we want to like if we really all could just in a collective action fashion, like really have each other's backs, that would unquestionably be good. Like put comedy in Maine on the map,
right?
In a place where we have this tourist economy where like hundreds of thousands of people come through here every summer. We could be capitalizing on that, making people want to go see Maine comedy, and specifically so there's also that in the background. There's like striving for greatness, like, hey, we could like be good. We're not just a shitty small town. You know, it might be Portland, Maine. I've grown into that because when I first started comedy here, I didn't expect that like it would be 2025 and I would have been here since 2015. I was just like, you know what I mean? But now it's like, especially with the rise of Empire. And I'm like, I want Maine comedy to be great. All of it.
Yeah. Right. I mean, it is cool to see, but it's just,
you can't say you want something to be great while going like this.
Gotta go. Especially
I want greatness.
This is bad.
Secure future for Maine.
It's so funny how this is fine.
Yeah.
Careful.
Whoa.
That'd be fun to have like a whole arena. People like,
Are you both in that camera?
Yes.
Oh, cool.
So you get your own little 4K feeds,
right? So the Caleb cam.
But I remember when that Nazi sleuth thing happened, I saw it coming from a mile away, but I was like, every single bad open micer is going to do a Hitler salute and make a bad joke about it. But it's funny that like, you know, I like you see these problems in the world and you're kind of like, why can't we just do this? Or like, why can't we find a solution? It's like, I can't get an open micer to not say a slur on stage. Like your impact can be so small. Right?
Word. Why can't we have nice things?
Why can't we have nice things? Garrett, can you tell us why we can't have nice things?
Is it right here? Yeah, I can tell you.
You can tell that.
I can tell you. So we're going to start off why we can't have nice things with a streamer on Twitch. I want to see if you guys have heard about this one. But this guy was banned from Twitch because he was encouraging his viewers to torture him for money.
I don't see why he got banned.
Wait, that's against the terms of service on Twitch?
Yeah,
I guess.
Can't have
Apparently
kinks.
is.
Oh man,
Can't have kinks on Twitch.
So here he is.
Oh, he's doing water torture.
Water torture, yeah, Chinese water torture.
Classic.
He's
Doesn't
banned.
know it's a legit torture technique.
Oh my god.
You're not gonna kill.
This is like, oh damn it. Oh no.
Oh man,
This is
you know what's funny? I've seen another guy on Twitch where what he does is he plays Resident Evil 4 and then has people don't like however much you donate, you can spawn in stronger enemies and he has to just keep fighting them and keep surviving. It's funny that two people had the same idea and one got to video game and the other got to I will torture myself.
This is
like extremely off-putting close-up shot in his face.
It feels like a person that was like, just water dropping on my face. That's not torture.
Right,
I can do that.
Oh,
There was a time one summer we were like just hanging out at the beach and just talking. My friend was like, I'm a really great swimmer. You could waterboard me. I'm going to be fine. I could resist being waterboarded. So then we're like, all right, man, we're going to go home. We're going to waterboard you. So then we tried to see who could last the longest being waterboarded. And for the listeners, waterboarding is when you put a rag over someone's face and then a hose and you simulate drowning.
Point of order. I had the longest.
Patrick
I
lasted
did it for the longest. Which was interesting because I'm not very good at holding my breath.
Okay, this I don't understand. That's not simulating drowning. If somebody is pouring water on your face, are you not drowning?
Well,
like it's not. It's a permeable. It's a rag.
I will say it does make it a lot easier when you know your torturers and you know that you're doing it to prove a point to your friend who said something stupid. If like I feel like it's the sensation, but it's like you can hold out longer because you know that as soon as you're like, okay, guys, let's go back to watching TV. Like you're gonna do that.
My question is, what is the rag for?
Oh, the rag is so that one that you can't see. So like they'll put the hose on and then take it off. So the rag it's so that you can't see and so that it's like the water's coming in a pattern that makes it harder to predict. So like if you had just the hose in your mouth, you could kind of like block your throat with your tongue, where like the rag is just kind of seeping in everywhere.
But how does this not result in dying?
Because you just gotta you take it off. It's basically like
you still aspirated water. Right?
They keep you at the point where you're like about to drown at all times, as long as possible.
There's a Vine like we made because I was in my Vine phase. So there's a Vine of it. I'm like waterboarding Pat, and then we.
Well, I mean, honestly, though, like we just did it because the parents were gone.
Start a Twitch channel, man.
Yeah, get some bits.
You got a superpower.
we did it for one because the parents were all gone, and we were like, how old were we? Like 15, 16? 17. Yeah, and also it was just. I love this guy. He's my best friend. He will make these statements that just get under my skin. So he was just like, yeah, like I could be fine being waterboarded. And I was trying to explain to him, like, you don't understand. This is torture. Like, this is what people do to break hardened militants.
So not only did you need to demonstrate to him that he couldn't take it, but then you needed to also demonstrate to him that you could.
Well,
it wasn't even that. It was just like we already have the setup. We already get the chair and the hose.
We got the chase lounge. We got the hose. Let's go.
Years later, you would still remember that you could take the most.
I mean, hey, it's important. But okay, so
text him right now. Be like, you're a bitch.
To give you an example of how this guy gets under my skin, I love him. He's my best friend. I love him so much. But he came out to Maine a while ago to visit in the summer, and we went to go. Chris was really into surfing, so we go to the beach. We get like a little grill, and so we buy like little charcoal briquettes and then lighter fluid, and it's like one of those like the smallest like kind of portable grills you can get. And this guy must have poured half of the entire container of lighter fluid into this tiny grill. We light it, it like blows up. We're like waiting, and then none of us really know all that much what we're doing, so we were like, oh, let's just wait a little bit, let it heat up, and then we'll start cooking. So of course we start cooking 5 minutes later, and then it's just all of our food just reeks of lighter fluid, and like it gives us all headaches. Like we clearly poisoned ourselves with lighter fluid. And I go, I wasn't even trying to start an argument. I was just like, oh yeah, we put way too much lighter fluid in there just to be nice. And he goes like, no, that wasn't the problem. The problem is that you bought the all natural lighter fluid. And it was just like that.
So wouldn't that make it better?
Did you waterboard him with the lighter fluid?
Should have, dude. But it's just little stuff like that where I'm like, I was being nice. Right. I was not blaming you.
It's an unstoppable force and an immovable object.
Yeah, it sounds like
they will not back down.
I will. We must have argued for an hour.
And we've been friends with this guy since we were like 13. Like, he's at our house every fucking weekend.
Might be 2 immovable objects.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, shout out to Peter.
Yeah,
we love
you, buddy. But no, I mean, like because especially if I'm arguing like with my friends, it's like as long if I know that this isn't going to escalate or like get too heated or whatever, like we never fight each other. So it's like if it's just a fun argument, I'll do that for 2 hours. I don't care.
Well, Pat will always just dig in. I'll freak out. Like we had a fight about, I think it was about communism. And then I was like, and I was at this point I was against it, I guess, which is very funny, by the way. But like I was like against it. And I'm like, oh, you want to share everything? And it just escalated to the point where I'm like, oh, you want to fucking share? We'll share everything. And I go into his room. He's got a box of candy. He's pouring it all into my mouth and then spit it back into the box.
Demonstrated to him the pitfalls of communism.
And Pat was like, I don't want to hang out with you anymore. Like, this was also crazy.
One of the errors too was you picked Whoppers, which is a candy I'll get, but I don't really care that much about Whoppers. If this was Charleston Chew Minis, there would be war.
I would be in the doghouse for real.
It'd be
Communism
the Cold
doesn't
War.
apply to Charleston Chew Minis. You have to work extra hard at the factory in your overtime to get a little bit of extra money to get you. The Charleston Chews don't come with your food coupons. They're not part of the dole. That's your special stash you have to spend your money on.
Yeah. I think that's my only thing about like communism where it's kind of like I'm a little bit against it is I've noticed for the most part the types of people that I see arguing about it, it's like, you know that you're not going to be a graphic designer in the communist utopia, right? Like, you know you're going to be on the factory floor, right?
Well, yeah. No, I mean, leftists are so fucking, so annoying. And like, there's a book by one of the DSA leaders. I think it's called The Socialist Manifesto. Mm-hmm. And reading it turned me off of the DSA. Really? Because I was like, the whole history of socialism is an argument between intellectuals about what socialism is and means and how to effectively bring it about in the world. Yeah. It's like, this is so fucking and like stupid when people have concrete issues in their lives. It's how they respond to socialism. They're like, oh, maybe the government should like maybe our tax dollars should take care of one another. Simple idea, really simple idea.
Point of personal privilege.
Right, and then they're doing like Robert's Rules of Order to have a meeting.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's like, this is like Model UN for fucking even more insufferable cunts.
Yeah, and like I'm open to like doing that kind of stuff. Like I'm fine with that politically. It's just like, just stop being annoying. Okay, just stop being annoying.
Hot take on confidently wrong. I don't want to be. A utopia requires that nothing from me, or it's not utopia. I do not want to have to go to some community meeting to oversee what we need to do about how to, like, who's salting the roads this week.
Right.
I want the government to be a silent machine that works effortlessly in the background to wipe my ass.
Yeah.
That's utopia.
Yeah.
That would be perfect, pure.
Oh, okay. Point of privilege.
Do you see how quickly it happened?
Yeah, it happened real fast.
It's a real slippery slope right there.
Dude, nationalism and socialism go together like mayo and raisins. It's not a good combo, dude.
It's not good.
Some white person's going to take it too far.
Yeah,
it's not good. That's not what I intended to do. I do. There's so many pictures of me on stage gesticulating like that too.
Oh yeah.
Fuck.
I've noticed that too. I have a fair amount of photos of me on stage, and my hand is moving so much it's blurry. Like my hand's just blurry.
I'm doing this.
Too fast, too furious,
way too fucking fast. Well, what else you got for us, Garrett? You got any other juicy fucking stuff?
Sure, yeah, I got some juicy stuff. Okay, so our next one here is a text message exchange from Am I Overreacting?
Oh,
perfect.
So let's read the title and then let's get right into what's going on here. So the title here is, Am I Overreacting for Ignoring My Boyfriend After Inappropriate Comments About My New Purse?
It's a purse. I'm gonna shoot from the hip and say overreacting.
So we're just gonna jump. We're gonna jump right into it. Okay. So does someone want to read the boyfriend, who is in gray, and someone else will be blue, which is
all right. I'll be the boyfriend. Caleb, do you want to be the girlfriend?
In blue?
Yeah.
Is okay. I have 2 lines, so I'm down.
Well, there's more pages.
There's more. There's more.
No.
Oh my God, the horrors. That goddamned bag. I can't. I tried to escape for the other phone. When I was on a date with that girl, we were talking about what's the female equivalent of guys wearing those Balenciaga logo sneakers, and she said that exact Dior bag. You're dating a gay man. This is a gay man. Get rid of it or I'll kill myself.
I like its frowny emoji.
Throw it away.
I've literally been so excited about it today. Lol.
Throw it off the Kema. I don't even know where these people are. Throw it off the Kema Bridge and hope it lands on a boat that's on fire. Give it to a homeless person.
Yuck.
Donate it to Goodwill.
Give me her number. I'll send her a pic. Heart eyes emoji.
Why are they trying to be like cute?
Jokes aside, a very strong boundary for me are pretentious displays of wealth.
Wouldn't a real one be a display of wealth?
This is an indisputable hard boundary I refuse to cross.
This is a display of poorness.
People both sound insufferable. It's not even real. This is even worse.
Why are you being mean? Can we self-assess quickly?
You paid money for fake artifacts to pretend you're wealthy.
I did not pay for anything.
The bag itself is ugly.
I'm going to stop answering now. You're being so mean.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Well, does she say anything else? Oh, God.
Oh,
all right,
damn.
So she stopped.
She stopped and he just kept going.
He just
3 more
kept going.
pages of
If
him
I
going
see them, I'm going to
hard.
fucking destroy them. I mean, this is a gay man. You're dating a gay man.
Yeah, I don't really understand.
Chris, I do need you to keep reading, though, just on this page.
Oh,
Okay. Get rid of it today, or I won't talk to you ever again. Give it to Gina, along with the glasses. If I see them, I'm going to fucking destroy them. These are members of my family in Cuba who can't afford dialysis and will die soon. Oh. There are no antibiotics in Cuba. People just die. What will it look like if you are my wife and people see you with things like that? Please don't be ignorant. I'm not even against art. You've shown me bags that look nice. The bag and the glasses have big fucking logos on them, and they're just, I think I'm kind of with this guy now.
I like his takes.
It's true that I'm being mean, and I don't know you. I know you don't mean harm, so I'm sorry, but please understand that this feels like a punch to the gut to me. It's like a disconnected from reality that I and many others who have it much worse carry every day. There are bags you've shown me that are beautiful without screaming status. If I'm going to dedicate my life to saving Cuba, I just need to know that the person by my side won't unknowingly undermine that mission. Please don't take this as an attack. It's me being vulnerable. I care about you, and this matters to me. And I'm sure there are other things right now that you don't understand.
So that's all I'm gonna. That's it.
That's all I'm gonna. Fuck. First of all, I just want to say real quick. I'm pretty sure Cuba has medicine.
Right?
What is he saving Cuba?
Yeah, I really want to know his plans to save.
Yeah, I want to know.
He's dedicating his life to saving Cuba, where he has family who can't afford dialysis.
I feel like that's just his excuse for just being mean.
It's a pretty good excuse.
Like, I'm saving Cuba.
I'm with him on the status symbols are gross, and
right.
But it would not be a hard boundary for me, and you don't. It's not.
Yeah,
it doesn't. I don't see how it relates to saving Cuba.
I did notice it was interesting how the like descending things to do with the bag was like throw it off a bridge, set it on fire, or give it to a homeless person.
Why wasn't that the first thing you thought?
No, it was like the third. It was like if you're not going to set it on fire, just give it to a homeless person.
What sparked this? It sounded like at first I thought the joke was your friend said the bag's ugly, so he was being like over the top, like, oh my god, well, if she thinks it's ugly, we just have to destroy it. But then he
Yeah.
took a turn
It felt
into like,
playful at
no,
first,
actually,
yeah.
I hate that
Yeah.
thing. It's a status
This is
symbol.
a
You
boundary.
Why
bourgeois
wasn't that
capitalist fuck.
cross?
I can't
Yeah.
have my girlfriend undermining me saving Cuba.
God, I'm sure the conversation keeps going. It's like, I'm literally Jesus Christ. He
Yeah.
just starts having messianic
Well, I mean,
delusions.
I wonder if it just started out this guy being like, I just got to find a way to tell her the bag looks stupid, and then it's like, just kind of she won't back down. So you're like, all right, what else can I pull out? You know, it's like you're in an argument. And it's like, how can I get the high ground again?
Your back is a humanitarian crisis.
Yeah, I'm saving.
It is fun to like roast your girl when she tries something new and it looks stupid.
Sure, I'm
It's
all for
really
teasing.
Like I was seeing this girl once, and she like, it was like a phase where like Kim Kardashian had these like huge glasses like this big, and they're just like flat black glasses with like just like a screen over your eye, like a helmet visor almost. And then she sent me like, she had a picture. I'm like, would you get your fucking eyes dilated? Like, what do you do?
I like that. How'd she take it?
She didn't like it.
She didn't care for it.
She didn't think it was very funny. I thought it was funny.
Teasing, playfully, fun,
Right.
fun stuff.
Right. But
Yes.
saying you're gonna kill yourself if you wear that bag is pretty nuts.
My girlfriend had an interesting fashion thing a while ago. She was wearing like a bandana like around her neck, and she kept asking me like, does it look like I've worn this before? And I was kind of like, what do you mean? She's like, I want to look like someone who's worn this before. And I was like, yeah. And then now it's like a joke being like, I know you've worn that shit before. But it was just interesting to me to be like, I don't want this to look like this is my first time wearing
you
this.
said the bandana tied around the neck. I thought you were gonna say, does it look like if you pull this, my head will just roll off? Does it look like that?
Is that how it looks?
This is
Edgar Allan Poe character.
There's a really interesting dynamic between Sunny and I where she likes to look cute and wear cute outfits, and she kind of has stopped. Like, she does not expect me to have any reaction whatsoever.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, yeah, you look good.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, she's probably
right?
expecting you to react like she would to you.
What-
So she wants you to do a backflip and scream,
Right.
"Oh my god, you look so cute!"
So no, there's an inequity. Like, she emotes enough for both of us that I just like, I can't with fashion. I'm not a fashion queer. I cannot care. And when people
Just a down home country.
I want to see how those clothes. I want to see how those clothes look on my floor.
Yeah.
That's what I care about.
no, I like don't. I just like it sparks a this guy level of intensity in me when people are like,
I'm gonna fucking kill myself.
when they care what people are wearing.
Yeah.
And there's like so much more to worry about in the world. And also, it's like the antithesis of every fucking kindergarten teacher's lesson for us all, wasn't it? It's like, it's not what you wear on the outside that matters, right, folks? Like,
we all forgot.
Yeah.
that. Like, I know that seems trite, but it's like,
Yeah.
that just is true. I want
Yeah.
and we also don't need to be all wearing like jumpsuits in a communist utopia
True,
where we're
yeah.
not allowed to differentiate. No, like, fine, like,
There's a middle
express
ground.
yourself with your clothes, cool.
Right.
But like, don't bring that to a place where we're now judging other people.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah, we need to-
and at the same time, fucking don't express yourself. Okay, I have I'm confidently contradictory about my attitudes towards what people are wearing,
Yeah.
because also kill yourself, throw your fucking bag out. Nobody cares
Set
if you
it
have
on
your
fire.
fucking fake logo on your
Yeah.
fucking stupid bag. It's a status symbol.
Yeah.
You'll never be a royal. You're not a fucking aristocrat. You're gonna die
You work
in
at
poverty.
Starbucks. All right.
Fuck off. Your class consciousness is zero. I don't like that. That's a turn off. And also, oh my God, the people standing outside of Gino's Rock Club, live your truth. I love that you know yourself so well, but also get the fuck over yourself. Nobody cares you're part of some counterculture.
And make
You
some room
didn't
on the
grow out
sidewalk.
of this. Did we not all have a phase?
Yeah.
We all need to go. We need to Billy Madison back to kindergarten. We need a refresher on all these lessons.
We need
And
a
then we gotta
refresher
start
course.
a communist utopia.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We just need a kindergarten teacher to just be like, now the jocks and the jocks, preps, and goth kids can
Yes.
all get along.
All live in harmony.
What are we doing differentiating ourselves along lines that we established in a fucking high school lunchroom? Right? Like, why do you want to be like, I wear black leather spiky things and trip pants?
Yeah. I like an outfit that's not
30.
practical. Yeah.
What what is that expressing? And it's not. It's like that was a lot of loggery. I feel it's just like I'm with no one and everyone. I'm just like, wear some fucking pants.
Yeah.
And a shirt.
Just wear
Would just cover up the parts that are rude to show to people.
Yeah.
Or make it polite. Make it polite to have your dick hanging out.
It also annoys me when I see people who are like real obsessed with like high fashion, where they're like Fashion Week's happening. It's like, these people would pay to step on you and kill you if they could, right? They would trample you to death in an instant.
And all right. And sure, it's art. It's cool. Your fucking inflatable boots. It's really whatever not, weird shit. They're cool. It's visually striking. You did a thing and you made a skinny bitch on coke walk down an aisle in it. That's
now
great.
You're speaking my language.
That's awesome. That's cool. Wow, she looks like nobody I've ever seen. Good job taking pictures of her.
Looks like an alien.
That's great. I like that. That's cool. But but also, it's a billions of dollars industry.
Yeah.
That trades on people's insecurities.
Yeah.
That makes people its whole business model is you're going to feel less than unless you have this fucking stupid bag. Yeah. While there are people who can't afford dialysis in Cuba.
Yeah. Needs to be saved.
Dude. I guess I kind of think that she's overreacting. And,
I think she's overreacting. I will say it was,
he overreacted first. Sorry.
Yeah. I've never seen that sheer number of texts unresponded back to. Like if I accidentally send someone like 3 text messages, I'm like, oh my God, they're gonna put me in jail. They're gonna know I'm a freak.
Okay, well, it's about that time. It's after quiet time at this house.
Damn time.
Oh, is it?
we gotta wrap it up. But
I was just getting started. I'm just getting on a roll.
I think
I'm getting on a tear.
We've had some good we're going to start a communist utopia and get over yourself, high fashion freaks. All right. This has been Confidently Wrong. Confidently Wrong is a Barn Boys media production hosted by Chris and Pat Nugeth, produced by Garrett Morris. If you'd like to support the podcast, please visit our Patreon. New episodes out every Wednesday. Listening to this podcast is a display of wealth. Therefore, we ask that you support us on our Patreon so that we can finally achieve our mission in bringing a communist utopia to the poor people of Cuba. And thank you, Caleb Theodore Sherman, for coming on the podcast.
Thank you, Noogs.
Hell yeah.
Thank both of you, Noogs. Chris and Pat, my favorite Noogs.
Fists I've ever seen in my life.
Right. All the better to fist you with.
All right. Confidently Wrong out. Thank you. Love you. Bye-bye.